I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
Up first, what's going on out there in Cleveland? I've been hearing a lot of news about it.
Out there in Cleveland,
they got some more drama going on. What's the deal?
Well, I'll tell you this. I saw old Joe Flacco running the other day. 11-on-11's taking off. There was nobody open. He took off for a first down. It felt good to see Joe moving around out there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the most. It was probably about a 15, 20-yard run. Felt good to see Joe move around out there.
Yeah.
You know, that gives the team a boost of confidence that you can watch your veteran quarterback move around like that, because it encourages the young guys, hey, if I'm moving around here, y'all need to be moving too.
Thanks.
So I heard that really helped the energy for Cleveland.
I bet.
But
everybody working.
Yeah, man, everybody working. But big news, Shedeur actually got his chance to go with the first team defense. Granted, he was still with the second team offense.
Yeah.
But I like that for him, that he actually got to play against the third team, or against the first team defense.
For sure.
And it felt good to see Myles Garrett down there and him being able to spin that ball.
Yeah.
And thread the needle to his receiver.
Yeah.
It felt good to see him thread that needle while Myles Garrett had his hand open. He had his hand up.
You gotta get him battle tested.
Yeah, and I love that, because that's letting me know that he feels confident sitting big in that pocket.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking at I believe he went 2 for 3.
Right.
With his completions. You know, granted there was no TDs or nothing like that, but it's just the fact of making the right play,
Thanks.
being confident in the pocket, moving your feet in the pocket,
yeah,
but at the same time not getting happy feet in the pocket and not being patient. You know what I mean? I think he did a really good job going against the ones in that aspect.
Yeah.
Very proud of his production. As far as Dylan Gabriel, he played okay. Sometimes he kind of has a tough time kind of seeing lanes. I don't want to say see over the offensive line. I don't like using that term.
Yeah.
I like using the term of seeing lanes. Sometimes the lanes that he thinks that he's seeing whenever he's being able to fire that ball,
he's spinning in there too quick.
Well, sometimes it gets deflected. You know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like it also gets deflected because of him kind of showing his cards
right
through his eyes. I think that's a big deal, because a quarterback's job is to manipulate defenders out of their position in order to access windows for their receivers.
Thanks.
And I think when I was looking at them, and you watch Shedeur, man. Shedeur, even the other day, he went 9 for 9 with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's the fact of him getting less reps and doing the most that he can with those reps in a very efficient form. And it's kind of cool to see that he's still in a 70% completion rate overall going into day 7 of training camp. So that was still the numbers that he had whenever he was in college, which is showing his consistency, but also it's showing his maturity as a football player to be able to not only call the plays, because the plays in the NFL could be complicated verbally, but also being able to access checkpoints when it comes to being in an actual rep and being able to make adjustments on the go. You have to be able to read those defenses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to be able to understand whenever defensive linemen are adjusting and being able to help the offensive line call out different shifts. It's just those little details that I feel like Shedeur, honestly, I just feel like he's just ahead of schedule than all the other quarterbacks they have on the roster. And honestly, I even feel like that's including Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because Shedeur's been doing this. He's been running NFL offenses since I want to say probably maybe his senior year of high school at the earliest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's been doing this. He's been doing this. So I think eventually what will happen. I'm grateful that
to grow up fast.
Yeah.
I'm living a fast life. We can say that.
Very. I know that eventually when that preseason game comes around, he'll be able to show his stuff. But in the meantime, I think it's cool to test his patience right now because his patience is only making him stronger when it comes to his preparation.
I agree.
So it's all good.
I agree. I think it's a test of time. We'll see. I hope they put the best man out there, whoever it's going to be. And I think Shador wants that as well. And that shows the level of his maturity that I do respect a lot, is how he's handling the attention surrounding the position battle, right?
Yeah.
He's handling it very mature. He's handling it the way you hope people would handle it, but we've been disappointed a lot by the lack of maturity in others, so we kind of get used to just people responding over emotionally, But I like the fact it's like, hey, he probably wants to be the best man out there.
Yeah. And
he's saying, like, if I'm not, okay, I'm going to just keep getting my reps in.
Yep.
I'm just doing my thing. All I can do is my thing, And I love to see that in the first-year player coming out. Because we already know the hunger's there. We know the desire's there. So many people are talking about it that he don't need to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? He's keeping it humble. And I think it's slowly but surely presenting the other side of his persona, the other side of who he is. You know what I mean? His brand, who he is, his character.
Yep.
I think it's slowly but surely showing that side as well for people to not get lost in the exciting entertainment aspect of the game. You know what I mean? It's time and stuff like that. Like, the whole prime time brand is very exciting. It's entertaining. But why not? We're playing the game as a sport. We tune in. We play games around the sport, fantasy. Like, why not it be entertaining? They want a business professional to also be an entertaining athlete. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we watch artists and musicians perform in any kind of way, acrobatic way, right?
Yep.
And so it's like, well, you have these players who are also entertainers, but we have an expectation on them to only operate a certain way in their personal life. Because now we can judge.
Yep.
But I think it's healthy.
But like, now it's a digital world. So when I think about him as a player, as also showing his content as an athlete and as a person, it's good that he's building his brand like that because he's also building a leadership brand.
I agree.
And so it's good for the youth, not to mention what he's building, he's also taking action in when he goes to schools, visits the community. Personally, he's a great representation of the Cleveland Browns franchise in general. So, I know there's a lot of talk about will he be one of the quarterbacks getting traded. It's like, nah.
It's a headline.
It's a headline, but at the end of the day, he's too valuable to the franchise.
It's a headline.
And not even just financially. I think overall just keeping the team in a cultural frequency.
I agree.
That cultural frequency of, hey, we are who we say we are, so we need to back that up through our actions. Right. And so as long as he continues to keep showing up for practices, working on his different details after practices,
sure,
what's going to happen is more and more people in leadership roles like Myles Garrett's going to stay after practice. He may start working on his technique, kind of like how they showed on Twitter. There was this one video where he was just working on his technique with offensive lineman while Shador was taking snaps with the center. So he was giving the center a look, but at the end of the day, he's still working on his technique because he's not going to go down in a three-point stance and have a lazy stance where it's going to make bad choice or bad chemistry for himself with what he does whenever he's actually playing. He's always going to do something that's going to help him no matter what. So any action that he's putting in is always going to be something positive, not only for the team. So what happens? You may end up having Denzel Ward stay after because he's like, hey, I want to work on my technique because Shador, your ball placement is so good that I want to be working against Jerry Jeudy so that way I can practice being able to defend great ball placements of footballs in an actual game because I know that I like what you do.
Lead by example.
You lead by example. So now what's going to happen? More receivers going to come out. Next minute, they're going to turn into a college-like atmosphere because of Shador, because he has a very youthful energy, and they're going to be loving to play 7-on-7s after practice.
And that's how you build a team culture.
Man.
You build a team culture that way.
Tell me.
Because Shador had a culture coming in, and that's the benefit of influence and brand, And good for them. Every team deserves to win, so.
Yeah, they do.
I know there's believers that don't think he's that skilled and should have an opportunity to start this year. And hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't disagree. If it's your opinion, that's your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I think it all is going to come down to the football field.
Yeah, it is.
And we're having a lot of fun talking about it week over week. And I look at the topics that are being talked about on every channel. We're talking about Cleveland Browns, Shador Sanders. That's, you know what I mean? It's a big deal right now in the NFL.
Yeah,
and they're doing something, and we don't know what it's going to look like until it's done. But they're definitely building something going on over there.
Yeah, they are. I love it.
Who else we got on topic?
You said what now?
It was the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, you got Cleveland, and you know what? While we're talking about Cleveland and Shador, let's go ahead and mosey on out there to Jacksonville. I'm about to say, mostly out there to Jacksonville because I love talking about a lot of those Colorado football players because I watched well-off media a lot, and I really enjoyed watching their development and seeing how their work ethic is really carrying over. I was looking at Travis Hunter. It's cool to see him playing both ways, but it's cool to see him working hard both ways.
Thanks.
Because that's also bringing energy to both sides of the football, which is also really, truthfully sacrificing his whole efforts for the betterment of the football team.
Right.
I think that's super cool, and I'm super proud of that organization for giving him a clear chance and a shot to do that.
Facts, right?
I feel like he's making the greatest receivers better. He's making Trevor Lawrence better. I feel like he's bringing more confidence to Trevor Lawrence, knowing that he got two legit dogs at receiver.
Man,
they got a lot of dogs on their squad, but they know for sure. They know for sure they got two number ones on that.
Man, that can get open, brother.
That can get open. I think that's a really good thing because if they are two number ones getting open, all the other dogs at receivers going to get open too.
Facts.
Because they're going to have lanes that are going to be created for them.
Because you got to put another body on them.
Yeah.
You got to put another body on him. He's going to make everybody else uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When you got a guy that is that good, they make everybody else uncomfortable. You got to account for him. Everybody got to pay attention. And it's distracting. And a distracted defense is a beatable defense. So, even the Cowboys, what they're doing, it's distracting.
Yes.
Low-key, quiet as kept. If Cooper Kupp come back, the Seahawks are going to be distracting.
Yeah, they are.
I'm hearing they're looking at Jalen Milroe or something like that.
I heard that too.
I don't know, if that was, no, so much stuff get pumped out. You never know what's really what.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be one of those things where they're going to find out in that first preseason game.
Appreciate that. Oh, man.
In that first preseason game, that true live action, that's whenever everything's going to really just change. I think right now, rookie mini camps, training camps, players so used to playing against each other. I guess, and also, it's time to go. It's time to start playing against other teams, which they're going to start doing.
Yeah.
Those gel practices.
Yep.
They're going to start doing them soon. I think that's going to also tell a lot. It's good to be in front of unfamiliar energy to see how your film rehearsal's been.
Yeah.
I think right now it's going to be Sam Darnold. When it comes down to it, I think Sam is going to put on a clinic because he's going to feel resurrected and inspired.
I think so too.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think, I feel like he's going to lead them in a good direction. But he's going to, like you said, he's going to need someone that some veteran presence at receiver that can help assist him when it comes to, hey, we need to keep these sustained drives. And I think that's probably the reason why they're also considering Jalen Milroe, because of his athleticism.
Right.
His athleticism plus him being able to have enough arm talent to be able to make some dynamic plays.
I agree fully.
Because he's a spark. He definitely is a legit spark where the right coaching around him, he can develop himself. But I want to see if he's going to be how should I say this? Is he going to be a Michael Vick development of this era where he's like the era of like Lamar Jackson? You know what I mean? With the Michael Vick energy where he can throw the ball and he can run the ball.
Interesting.
But at the same time, he's able to do what Michael Vick did, but also amplify because of him being in the system of more pro style.
Yeah.
More pro style, so it means he has more experience coming out early, so he can develop a little bit earlier, right?
Yeah.
But he has Michael Vick's athleticism, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it can be that and not this, not like a career backup where he's a really good quarterback and he can win you some football games and he has that athleticism and he won't necessarily turn the ball over too much, but he won't necessarily make too many dynamic plays, but he'll make enough where he can help you win a game. Respectively, Tyrod Taylor. And he's going to be a Tyrod Taylor type player where he's like he legit backup, but he's going to help you win some games when he needs to, but at the same time, y'all need to still have y'all starter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I feel like Jalen Milroe can be that. So what does that mean for his ceiling, in my opinion? If we want to compare him to Tyrod, you put Tyrod Taylor on a winning football team.
I like Tyrod's game.
You put him on a winning football team, and they're in the playoffs, and your starter gets hurt, and they're like, let's say if they're in a Super Bowl or something,
he can win it for you.
Tyrod gonna win that game for you, bro.
He can win it for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he gonna win that game for you. And so,
just like Lou Will got like 6th Man of the Year award.
Right.
Tyrod need to get back a QB of the decade award.
Yes, it would be something like that.
Remember Nick Foles?
And Nick Foles was one of them too.
Nick Foles will be number one.
Well, Nick Foles is one of those kind too, where quit backup, but don't get it twisted. If you get up in there, he gonna help you win.
Flacco, obviously too. Shit.
Flacco one of them too. And so, with that being said, staying on topic, which is so great. When I think about when we were speaking of Cleveland, I truly believe the two quarterbacks they should keep on that roster, and they should be these two, and they should put one on the practice squad. Shador starter, Joe Flacco's number 2.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect for what Cleveland is trying to do. Because what if Shador come out the gate and energetically shifts everyone's aggression from the first quarter going into the fourth quarter? So instead of jumping on the course in the fourth quarter, they're so excited every game to see the optimism of what could possibly happen because he is like magic sometimes out there.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that it changes everyone's aggression. What if that defense plays more inspired because they're already a top 5 defense? So what if they play even more inspired and get more creative, and now the offense is even more inspired? Everyone's just more inspired. Special teams more inspired. The play calling is more inspired because now they have a limitless activity that they can tackle because they know that Shador can make all the throws.
Hell yeah.
All the throws.
All the throws.
All of them.
See, you have to play football to understand how it feels, man. You're inspired, right? Because you want to win the game.
Yep.
And if you're fighting towards something, you're going to give your maximum effort, right? You're motivated, you're inspired. You'll push through pain. You'll push through discomfort. You'll push through being tired, exhaustion. You'll push through that. You'll push through injury. If you're inspired to know that you can pull this thing through, you can win this, you know?
Uh-huh.
And sometimes when you're on those teams and it's such a losing effort on somebody's behalf or on the, you know what I mean, on a portion of the team's behalf or like everybody's behalf, it's just like you're not hopeful. You're like, why go out here? My ankle's rolled. Why go out here and put my body on the line and we're not going to win anyway? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And no, you shouldn't give in to those voices, but those are voices that happen, you know, and some people give in. But it's just like you see those waves of momentum from those teams who get that spark plug, whether it's a coach or whether it's a player, whether it's a collective, right? They get that spark plug and then boom, they rattle off and get the championship. OKC, boom, they rattle off and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 championships, right? Bulls, you know what I mean? Lakers, you know what I'm saying? The Warriors, Miami Heat, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Boston Celtics, like they rattle it off, you know. But anyway, what we're saying, we'll see. I'm excited for it. You know, they were talking a lot about Baker Mayfield, and the shining. You know, I guess he's getting his flowers now. You know what I mean? They're paying attention to how talented he's been playing and consistent he's been playing over the past 2-3 seasons. So
he's coming into his own. I think he's ready for his Drew Brees moment.
Yeah, I think the Bucs are going to have a good year, man.
Yeah, me too.
Because he just gets better every year.
Yeah, he's starting to get back into Baker Mayfield from Oklahoma. He's establishing his alpha dominance, where he feels confident enough to establish it because of the trust of the organization.
Facts.
I believe they gave him a little extension, right?
Yeah.
So they gave him an extension, which is great. I love that because the thing is, you can't, like, teams can't always be looking at, hey, I'm trying to get the next best thing. If you try to always get the next best thing at quarterback, you're always finding yourself restarting.
Facts.
Because each quarterback has to reestablish his roots. It's kind of like getting a patch of grass and you got a brand new house, and that patch of grass is coming to what it is. It's going to be its brand new house.
Hell yeah.
So therefore, that patch of grass has to go into the dirt, and then now it has to solidify its foundation for everything else in its environment to gel with it.
Facts.
You got to do that every single time when you got to get another quarterback.
Facts.
So I look at that and I see where Baker is right now, how he had a good season last year. And shout out to him because he was in Cleveland and he was supposed to be Cleveland's guy.
Sure.
Things didn't work out, and him being able to resurrect his career. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to all the quarterbacks, honestly, that's been resurrecting their career.
Yeah.
But I really feel like he found his home, though, in Buffalo, in Tampa.
Yeah.
Along with them having an inspired defense, defense.
I feel that.
What's kind of cool about it is, like, Tom Brady lets him some good weapons.
Man, and that's the thing, right? When you're underrated, here's the thing: you're underrated. You're underrated. When you're underrated, they'll put you in a position, right?
Yep.
To show your potential. He was underrated, so they allowed him to go at the discount to the Bucs, who were already set up nice.
Yeah. But I like the fact that he's taking care of his responsibility with the Bucs.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing him go through his progressions.
Yeah.
Throwing darts with confidence.
Yep.
Things that we all knew that he could do.
Right.
But it's good to see him actually still taking action and bettering that.
Facts.
Perfecting that.
Facts.
And then you know what? Speaking of Bucs, I want to see how Shiloh do. I've seen him make some good pass deflections, knowing how to read some coverages or read some offensive plays, which has been good.
Yep.
So he's reading offenses really well. But you know what? Nothing with Shiloh, which I think is going to be good. I believe he's going to get into a leadership role a lot sooner too, even though he's a rookie. Yeah. Because he has a lot of experience. He played a lot of college ball. Yep. But he's got a chance to see a lot of pro-style offenses.
Yep.
A lot of it in practice, of course, but a lot of them in the games.
Yeah, and recognition and comfort is big time at safety.
Yeah.
When you're comfortable about what you're seeing,
Mm-hmm.
That's big time.
Because I think about stuff and I'm like, shoot, I'm not worried about him being able to tackle.
Right.
And the reason why is because a lot of times I was looking at Colorado's film, man, he's had to make a lot of stops from breaking long touchdowns.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's his job, and he handled his job very, very well.
Right.
Actually, very, very well.
It's called safety for a reason.
Yeah, I'm glad Tampa giving him that opportunity.
I am too. He's got scrappy safety size. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if he puts on a little more size, you wouldn't want to get hit by him. You know what I'm saying? He's not somebody you want to get hit by if he puts a little more size on. You feel me? And he's got enough grit and go in him to
he can have that
come downhill.
He can have that Bob Sanders in him.
Yeah, he got enough in him to come downhill.
Remember Bob Sanders from Indianapolis?
Hell yeah.
He got a little Bob Sanders in him.
Yeah.
Now this is a different era, so the one thing that I do want to see
like that though.
Huh?
You can't lean on him too much like that no more. But I mean, you gotta perfect each craft. So maybe now because they've been growing up with them tackling rules, they know how to really bring it in the right way,
That's what I was just about to say. I want to see how he develops because the thing is, even though he has Bob-like Sanders energy, we're not in a Bob-like Sanders era anymore.
Right.
So his biggest adjustments is going to be how he will address his hit stick.
You got to have breaks.
How will he address it? As I would be energetically sipping some wine on that one. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because the thing is that he has a quality that you really can't teach.
What's that?
Some things has to be within and he has it. And so what I'm looking at is, hey, shoot, Shiloh, I ain't saying to get rid of your hit stick. Nah. All you have to do is perfect how you're going to address it in the league. And I know that he will very soon and early. So I'm actually very excited for him. Because it's cool, you go through this training camp right now, and he's allowing himself to envision all of the different ways that he can have his hit stick not only be a hit stick that you're going to feel it, but a hit stick of recreating more pathways for the offense whenever he makes some fumble recoveries. Because I truly believe that he has that type of technique, just like Travis Hunter, that head will be on the ball. Man. So wherever you go, he's going to be a missile coming at you.
Yeah, I can totally
with confidence and conviction.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
You know, another thing is like Micah Parsons.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they need to pay that man.
Yeah, they do.
Man, because here's the thing. It's a culture killer.
It is.
You know, it's a big-time culture killer. They just need to pay that man. You know, if they believe in him, pay him. But I know they probably can't come to an agreement. Who knows? Who knows? You never really know. You never really know. But
yeah,
you pay that man. He's talented.
He's too talented to be treating him like he's a bull or like he's like a dog and you waving a piece of meat, which means his contract at him while he's trying to feed his puppies, meaning his family. You know what I'm saying? Because all I'm looking at is like with Micah, man, he's the anchor of that defense. He's the personality of that defense.
Yeah.
He's not only personality of defense on the field, but it seems to be the personality of the defense off the field too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's a very outspoken individual, which is also a dedication to his leadership on the football team. And when I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, man, you know what, man? I'm thinking about like he needs to get paid because first off, he's a hybrid. Second of all, he's a leader. Mm-hmm. And third of all, his talent is something that cannot be duplicated. There's not too many of them. The other one was drafted and he's in New York right now.
That part.
Okay? So that should give you an idea of who he is. He's so talented you can put him at running back because he runs like a 4-4 himself. Right. He could do so many different things. And so I think what it is with Jerry's like, man, look, I know he can. I'm not saying he can't. Matter of fact, Micah knows that I know that he can. But are you going to stay healthy? And I think Jerry's still thinking about the past so much. And I think he needs to release that. And I know that he will eventually. But I think it's going to be one thing, like same thing I said last week. I truly feel like what it's going to be. He needs to, for his psyche, I just want y'all to be in pass for a little while. I want to see you in a preseason game. I need to see you move around for my psyche before I put that pen on paper and really agree to this. And I think that's what it is because it's also him and also who is it, Trayvon Diggs. Got to make sure he's healthy. He wants to make sure that defense ready to rock and roll just like the offense.
Yeah.
I think right now they put it into action that they put investments in there. George Pickens, they picked him up for investments because I think he knows Micah Parsons is going to handle that defense. He's going to make sure all of that. Right now, I think everything's just in a psychological play right now. But he's going to get paid, though. Because they would be a fool to let that man go, bro.
I agree with you completely. Top of the morning. First things first, we got some drama going out there in Dallas, man. Trouble in Dallas. Trouble in paradise. Micah Parsons requesting the trade, man. What you think that's about?
Out there in good old Jerry world. I don't blame him, honestly. I mean, shoot, he got to do what he got to do.
He got to feed his cubs.
Yep, got to feed his kids, bro. And then on top of that, he got to feed himself. Because there's a levels to respect behind what he's been asking for because he's been asking for this for the last 2 or 3 seasons. You know, it's not about necessarily the money. Like, granted, yeah, he want to get paid. You know what I'm saying? He want to do his thing. But at the same time, it's like he's also trying to show his level of dedication to the Cowboys organization. And it almost feels slightly as if he appears to be slightly feeling disrespected because it's like, come on, dog, y'all ain't even really trying to pay me like that, and I'm trying to solidify for y'all. Now, I know last time I checked, the longer they wait, the more bricks are going to be stacked when it comes to money. So all he's doing is just stacking more money at the end of the day. And I don't know if the Cowboys are doing that because they value him that much. And they're like, hey, I know you're upset right now, but just wait because we really want to show you our appreciation of you by giving you a really big paycheck. So we low-key got to milk this out with the media and with the fan base right now in order to be able to give you the paycheck you desiring. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's that or they literally are disvaluing his presence right now. But overall, I just feel like it's just unnecessary chaos. With the Cowboys, the last 20 years, they love organized chaos.
Yeah.
And so this ain't nothing but an organized chaos situation. So, you know, I hope Micah gets his money, but at the same time, if he doesn't, I know there's an organization out there that definitely going to give him one of the greatest paydays that he could ever have.
Facts.
So
that's the part. Somebody's going to pay him. Somebody's going to pay him. He's a good talent. And whether they think he's, untouchable, uninjurable, right? Whether they think that he's great enough to be worth investing as much in, he's the best thing smoking right now at the position. And that's all you have to go off of, right? You're talking about a position. And every year it's going to change. Every decade is going to be different great players. And right now he's one of the best in the game at that position. And that's what the market value. That's the market value for the best, right? They can say what they want to say. But one thing I will say about those who are talking about his production, it's really hard to be dominant year over year over year over year over year. People start to double team you, triple team you. They start to spy on you. They start to have packages just for you to keep you out of the play. And so a lot of times, once a player is really great, his impact comes in a different way, right? In a backdoor type of a way. It's not always his individual accolades. Sometimes it's what his game and the attention that he's garnering is doing to open up the other players. You know what I'm saying? On that front line. So, all in all, man, he's a great player. I hope he gets paid. You got Terry McLaurin, #1 receiver for Washington Commanders. He doesn't seem to be happy with where he's at. He's requesting a trade out of there. I don't know if you heard much about it. But he's been one of the top guys in the league. Low-key, though. Really low-key. Really low-key, but really been one of the top guys for the past few seasons.
Yeah. The thing that's just crazy about it, I was thinking, here's a guy that is one of the top receivers in the league. He gets a franchise quarterback that can throw him the football, and he wants to leave. So my question really is it because they don't want to pay him?
Yeah.
If that's the case,
it's a money thing.
If that's the case, then somebody gonna get themselves a good wide receiver.
Yeah,
I'll say that. I mean, it's just tough with the situation because I know that Washington right now is looking at how they had Jaden Daniels last year as a rookie that was so productive, that knows how to make the right plays, the right reads, right. That they feel like a lot of the positional players are actually expendable, where they can save some money and build for the future around him without spending too much out of their paycheck right now. And so, or out of their bank right now. So when I look at that, they're just building for the future, and they don't want to invest in no wide receiver, in my opinion, that I guess isn't groomed with Jaden Daniels since the beginning, if that makes sense. I feel like in the future they may draft the wide receiver and invest in that, but I think they're just looking to just kind of go forward in that situation. And sometimes that happens with wide receivers that are good like that. I mean, it happened with D-Hop where he had to eventually part ways with Houston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's still a productive receiver. And hats off to him. He'll be in a better situation. And I hope that situation is a Super Bowl type situation. Because if he gets into a Super Bowl type of situation where he gets on with maybe with the Chiefs, you know what I mean? He gets to an organization like that, maybe Philly, maybe even Buffalo for that matter, or even Baltimore. If he gets with an organization like that and he wins, then it justifies, in my opinion, his greatness.
Who's that? Terry McLaurin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It justifies his greatness. But, if he's looking to go get that money, I'm sure there's a team that will pay. So, I mean, why not explore and try to see? But one thing's for sure with Washington, they're just trying to build for the future.
Yeah.
That's just what I see.
They're trying to make sure they're making the right decision.
Yeah. I'm not saying that wide receivers come a dime a dozen, but there's a lot of great star power at wide receiver that's in the near future.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin is one of those guys, though. He's so slippery. He just knows how to get open. He's borderline one of them unguardable type dudes. he's just not a big personality as far as being in a big market, making a lot of noise vocally or in the media. So the light isn't quite as shined as bright in that direction, but he's been consistent, man. He deserves his money. You said there's some youngsters, man, from Colorado who's showing out recently.
Oh yeah,
Talk to me about that. What you got? Jimmy Horner, Will Shepherd doing something big?
Yeah, they're getting a little PT action out there, a little playing time action.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of Jimmy Horn making some nice window catches.
Yep.
As well as catching a nice little touchdown pass in the red zone, slipping out the backfield from the opposite side, which I thought was super cool.
Hell yeah.
You know, it's just good for, being a seventh rounder, 6th, 7th rounder, that's great for his confidence to be able to get into a first team scrimmage and actually contribute. Yeah. You know what I mean? In a significant way, especially when it comes to scoring a touchdown. So hats off to him. And speaking of being slippery, I think he's going to be one of those ones because in a lot of the one-on-one actions with Carolina, he's been reported to be supposedly unguardable. And that's a very good sign when it comes to making the team.
Jimmy Horn?
And not only making the team, but actually being able to contribute. So shout out to him.
Hell yeah.
I was looking at Will Shepherd. Will Shepherd, it's been cool because, at first, just trying to get to the league, he had to go through being able to pass a physical,
Yeah.
So he's had a little bit of a slower start coming up to speed. But it's been a blessing to see how the Packers have actually signed him and is giving him a chance. So he's actually coming into the Packers training camp a little late.
Yeah. And
so it's kind of cool to see how his first scrimmage, he ended up scoring a touchdown.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Scored a touchdown. It was roughly in the red zone. Yeah, roughly in the red zone, probably about 20 yards out or so.
Yeah.
And he caught a front pile-on touchdown.
That's major.
Yeah. So I think that's super cool. And then my boy LeJohntay been showing out. So right now, Coach Harbaugh actually has LeJohntay being more featured as a punt returner, which I think is actually really cool because he's like a little scat. He's like a little scat back out there.
Yeah.
But they had him out there at wide receiver too, and it's been kind of cool seeing him make some nice open window, like quick digs, type of passes. Little shortstop routes, but the thing is you're still moving the chains.
Yep.
You still got to catch the football, and you still got to play your assignment. So he's been doing a wonderful job with that.
Hell yeah.
So overall, man, all I'm looking at is it's just showing that Colorado's wide receivers clearly have been coached by a great wide receiver coach.
Yep.
And they clearly know what they're doing because the things that most fans see as simple, the average wide receiver can't do it.
Big time.
The average wide receiver cannot do it. So being able to do things in game-like environments, it's the little things.
Yep.
Catching the football. It may have been an easy touchdown, but you still got to catch it.
Still got to catch it.
You still got to do your plays. You still got to line up in the right spots. You still got to know the cadence. You still got to know the play calls.
Mm-hmm.
All those little details is just so important. So shout out to all of them clearly knowing the playbook. And so, yeah. And you know what? They must have had a hell of a quarterback thrown to them in college. Because, man, their show-off are pretty productive in the NFL.
Yeah, man. Big time. Good things going on out there, man. For sure. What else we got going on in the world of sports?
Well, speaking of great quarterbacks out there in Colorado.
What's up?
I was thinking about out there in Cleveland right now. You got Shador. I know couple of days ago, he was actually out of practice with they reported as shoulder soreness.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so he had that shoulder soreness out there, and so he missed practice. Then all of a sudden, as soon as he missed practice, I've seen a lot of fans and a lot of sports analysts that are saying, well, man, maybe he's about to get traded.
Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, I know Shador played through a lot. I'm not saying he didn't have shoulder soreness.
Yeah.
But it could have been one of those things where maybe they take a precaution because they already know what they got.
Right.
I don't think I don't think Cleveland is that oblivious to that.
Nah.
Because it still goes back to, if they are, the eyes are useless if the mind is blind.
Man, yeah.
So I think anybody can see that Shedeur is the better quarterback out of all the quarterbacks out there.
That they got?
Yeah, he's their guy. I truly believe that they know that he's their guy. It's just one of those things that they still want him to be in the waiting game. It's like, okay, well, he hasn't had first team reps. Not yet, but I truly believe that they are truly confident that if he didn't even start a game, bro,
yeah,
and he went into there with the starters, it would still look the same, if not better. So I don't even think they worry about that type of chemistry,
I don't think so,
in my opinion.
I don't think so either.
Now, I will say, looking at the other side of it, the other side says Shedeur gets traded and he goes to the New Orleans Saints, where they are in need of a quarterback right now, supposedly. Now, I like Spencer Rattler.
They need a quarterback. Yeah, hell yeah.
I like Spencer Rattler, but I would love to see Shedeur go out there to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Spencer hasn't quite proven himself as a starter yet. He has flashes of solid plays, but doesn't materialize over into dubs yet. But anyway, continue.
I was like, I'd love to see Shedeur out there in New Orleans because, I know it's like, well, all 32 teams passed up on Shedeur. Why would he even get traded out there? I know there's all 31 other teams that are watching that film that's being reported on Shedeur and being like, man, he's looking like Tom Brady right now as a baby boy.
Yeah.
He look like a little grown Tom Brady right now. That's literally what Shedeur look like. You can see his footwork, his accuracy. He's 49 of 70 completions right now, 6 touchdowns, no picks, 70% completion. That clearly should be telling you now, out of all the quarterbacks there right now, Joe Flacco at about 58%, Kenny Pickett's at 67. Granted, he's still kind of coming off injury right now, but he's at 67%. Dylan Gabriel is around 50% himself. I'm looking at that and I'm just like, they know he's the better quarterback, but if you wanna roll the dice to trade your franchise quarterback that was dropped in your lap, right? You dropped in your lap, you're trading them twice, and I'm gonna tell you how you trade them twice. Or neglect him twice / trade him twice. Because you could have drafted him in the first round, you stroked, so you didn't do it that time. Then 5th round you got him, but now you're trying to trade him again. That would be twice that you're letting your franchise quarterback go. That's trying to be divinely dropped into you. But you know what? If divine intervention has to step into this play, because they don't want to accept that blessing of having someone who's a franchise changing type of quarterback who galvanizes his teammates, who has respect for his teammates, has respect for his community, truly tries to lead by example by being a well-respected person in the community for the Cleveland organization, and represents their brand with class and with character and with hard work and dedication and with consistency, not only on the field but off the field. If you want to let all of that go because you want to roll the dice on trying to find your franchise quarterback next year, just because you have 2 first-round draft picks, I don't know. You may end up setting yourself up for failure on that one.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
For real.
Because that's the part where they would be proving themselves being, they truly want to be in a bad type of energy, like when it comes to just being a bad organization, because you literally are looking at every single time the grass will always be green on the other side.
That's what you think.
That's what you're telling yourself every time. Because you know what's going to happen when that draft gets here?
What?
And people start narrating and they start chirping, they're going to start doubting the quarterback they're going to get. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to fix that situation. Now, who do I truly feel like they're trying to trade out of them quarterbacks? I truly feel like out of all the quarterbacks Cleveland is trying to trade that they're not saying is Dylan Gabriel. And the reason why is because he's getting the most reps. And it's all like, well, they're trying to prepare him. I think it's a yes and no type situation. I think they're also trying to market him.
Yeah.
And the only way to market him, he must play.
Yeah.
So
I feel that.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
I agree. We'll see. It makes for good TV. We still have to remember football's entertainment sport.
It is.
So
it is.
It makes for good TV.
It really does right now.
You know, so NFL is back, baby.
NFL is definitely back. I'm so happy about that, bro. Like, it feels so good to see all these teams playing right now.
Right.
Granted, you have some teams that didn't play their starters, but you have some teams that play their starters for, a couple quarters.
Right.
Like your boy Justin Fields out there with the New York Jets.
Right.
Shout out to the Jets. I think he went 3 for 4 for about 44 yards, something like that in his first preseason game.
It's nice to get some reps.
And it's nice to see him using his legs. Right. He uses his legs efficiently because that's one of his star qualities.
It has to be.
Dominant.
It has to be. But that's the thing about dual threat. It's equally threatening because of the duality. You feel me?
Yep.
It's equally threatening because of the duality. Because the run game is such a threat, that means it opens up the ability to throw, right? And then you focus on throwing, you forget about the run game. So I'm glad that he's kind of owning that as part of his swag for this year coming up. Man.
Yeah, man, I love that too for him. I was about to say, I think it's kind of cool. I want to see, obviously, in the upcoming games and stuff, him getting more passes, them giving him more chances.
Yep.
I think his strength is going to be kind of like how, what's his name, that quarterback now for Jalen Milroe. There we go.
Yep.
Jalen Milroe for Seattle. He's going to be good at them play-action boots.
Yep.
Play-action boots, getting him on the outside, allowing for him to be efficient like that.
Yep.
But he's definitely going to need a solid run game in New York, but I know they already have it, though.
Yep.
That's the beauty about having a quarterback who can run.
Yep.
Whenever you have a quarterback that can run, it completely opens up the offense of run scheme,
yep,
as well as, honestly, making receivers more available because of matchups.
Yep.
They start stacking the box. They start doing QB spies. You know what I mean? They start having a joker that's there that's always spying, just any type of spy, whether it's a rover or a safety.
Yep.
So it allows for them to not always work in instinct.
Yep.
As far as defenses can't really work out of instinct. They have to kind of hesitate because of so many different options that may happen.
Yep.
So, yeah, shout out to Jay.
Shout out, man.
Doing this thing.
Man.
Oh,
glad to see it.
Yeah, shout out to him doing this thing, though.
You had Cam Ward was looking good out there too now.
What you said?
Cam Ward.
Oh man.
Cam Ward showed out for Tennessee.
Man, you know,
he looked poised, man. He looked comfortable back there.
Yeah, he does. I'm about to say him and Calvin really they make a really good dynamic. He's sitting there, big body in the pocket. But shout out to the O-line for him though. I seen him make some laser deep dig routes to Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
And I seen him do that, and I was like, man, it looks good. I mean, everything that I'm seeing out of Cam, honestly and truthfully, I feel like this is something that if you watched him at Miami, you already knew that he could do that.
Oh, yeah. But, it doesn't always transfer.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that his poise, the accuracy, the decision-making is transferring. I think they got something good on their hands. I look forward to seeing the rest of camp with him. You know who surprised me was old Jackson Dart, man. Huh. Jackson Dart looked pretty good out there.
I was just about to say, he
made a couple of throws, but what he did with those throws showed a level of skill that we can't go unnoticed. Like to get the ball and lead the receiver enough on that back corner pass that he made over to the left side. I think it was for the touchdown. To be able to get the ball out like that as far as that placement and not be able to set your feet, that was a big time throw. Big time throw. He made a couple that showed. I was like, okay, I see you, Jackson.
Yeah, it's interesting watching him because obviously you see that practice film and it's like, man, I don't know if he's who he is, right? Who he says he is, but some people are just gamers.
Some people are gamers, man.
And what I'm about to say, watching him, he's definitely a gamer.
Yeah, he is. Some people are competitors, right?
Yeah.
Until like they really feel like they're competing for something, they got a different gear they can go into, different light that switches on.
No, for real. Yeah, that's gonna be one of those things that's interesting, like, because speaking of the Giants QBs, they all did good in the preseason. I know Russ, he had like 1 or 2 series, very efficient. It's hard to kind of evaluate starters in the preseason with at least the first preseason game. As the preseason games get on more and they get to the second and third, they'll start to play more, and then you can really see what you got going on. But doing what you have in a little time says a lot too.
It does.
Because I think they're going to be okay at quarterback this year. Russ, Jameis had a good preseason game too as well. Very efficient from the pocket. He looks like a very natural. It's so funny because I seen this comment on social media about like Jameis naturally looks like he should be a New York Giant. Well, he does actually.
He does.
And that's what's interesting because it kind of reminds me of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold going to Minnesota. Sometimes you just get into them type of teams where they just know how to use you the best.
For sure.
Point being, though, Malik Neighbors should have a field day no matter who's at quarterback.
1,000%.
I think when it comes down to Jackson Dart, I think we'll see Jackson Dart later on down the line if Russ ain't doing his job.
Yeah.
But for right now, for what he's done, yeah, his confidence is about to go through the roof now. Because now in practice, I think he's going to be playing with more conviction because he's got to do that into a game. So now he's up to speed psychologically on the way the game is supposed to be ran. Yeah, which means that I feel like he should be feeling encouraged by studying film, by having commanding presence on the field. All that stuff is going to be really legit for him. What you think about Cleveland and Carolina? They had their preseason game on Friday.
Man, I think it was a cool game, bro. I'll start with Carolina. I know the topic everybody want to talk about. I'll start with Carolina. I think Bryce Young looked pretty good, man. Carolina got a solid team, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next year. They got some really good offensive young weapons, and it was a good game. I like watching it. I was more impressed with Shedeur, though.
Man,
I mean, to come out there and show what all the hype's about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To come out there and show what all the hype's about. Because being on the platform is a double-edged sword. If he performed well, we're going to praise, oh yeah. If he performed poorly, then it would have been the avalanche of negativity and hate, right? Yeah. So I like the fact that he performed well, but it also still kind of bothers me that it's that much judgment, scrutiny, and pressure on the young kid. But I think what gives him his mystique is the ability to overcome and stay consistent through every single division, from high school to college to smaller division up to the largest division, to remain consistent, which is being able to stand tall through adversity.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's coming up against you. He knows how to win. He knows how to win. He knows how to win through adversity. All right? When you didn't have an O-line, when you didn't have a team, when you didn't have a big market, when you didn't have a whole lot of other help, he found a way to win. He finds a way to make the throw, to do what he needs to do. And so now we're in a position where it looked like he was seemingly set up for failure. Right? Doesn't get much critical opportunity throughout camp to work with either the ones or to be in a position to start. Gets kind of thrown in the fire, quote unquote, having to be a starter. But then, here's this as well. You're going to go in and you're going to start with the 2s and 3s. We're not going to play any other ones. Okay? So, not being in a good setup for success and to still be able to come out there and play your game as a first NFL game, first time really understanding what the game speed is, to come out there and stand confident in the pocket and deliver big throws and to put points on the board, score 2 touchdowns, and those are grown man throws. Those weren't just easy slants or wide open post corners. Like, he made that happen. A lesser quarterback would not have been able to put up those points. And that's the big thing that I saw. He showed you. He showed you what he can do.
Yeah.
A lesser quarterback wouldn't have been able to make some of those throws. That one that he made right up underneath the defender where the guy slid down and caught it without throwing it in the dirt or throwing it too high to put it right on the money where only he can get it, right? And to know you have to throw it high or low to help avoid the defender. And then that one he threw in the corner, which if he wouldn't have threw it when he did and with the left that he had on it, it would have been a deflection or a pick because he was rolling into that corner coverage, right? Man, and then even when he was commanding, and what they didn't see was that he actually adjusted that route. He was running, and he told Buddy, shoot up.
Yep.
And he told Buddy, shoot up. And to just have the comfort in your arm and your ability to just know exactly how much to put on it. That's what we see that gets in the way of these quarterbacks. It ain't that all of them ain't talented in practice, and ain't all of them can't put on a circus show, with their arm and skill and ability if they was just standing out by themselves. It's when the game come on the line, and all you got to do, the man's right there, is put it right to him. For whatever reason, nerves, exhaustion, fatigue, anxiousness, whatever happens, it just gets in the way. So he come out there and show you he know how to put the ball on the money, man, and that can't be ignored. Whatever your opinion is on Shedeur, we can't ignore that. He didn't have no turnovers. The Cleveland Browns go out there and win the game with their 2s and 3s, and win it,
man. And I agree with everything you was about to say. Everything that you said, I agree with you, bro. Because the biggest thing that you said was no turnovers.
Come on now.
I think that was huge. Like, takeaways that I loved about what I watched from Shedeur, bro. Yes, the commander of the offense, but his pocket presence and his demeanor in the pocket shows that he's calm and he's ready to lead. Like, you can just see it in his presence. You can see it in his conviction when his throws. He steps into his throws. He wasn't drifting from the pocket when it comes to stepping into his throws. Granted, he had a couple plays where he had to veer outside the pocket, you know what I mean? And he got way out of the tackle box, you know what I mean? And he could have lost a lot of yardage. But he did a great job of allowing for himself to be elusive, to be able to live to fight another play instead of lose a lot of yardage.
Yep.
And that, to me, is a sign of a big growth from him from college. And to his defense, I will say from college, a lot of them situations, there was nothing he could do. As soon as the ball snapped, as fast as the ball's getting snapped, and we're also talking in a shotgun. As fast as the ball was getting snapped in a shotgun in college, he still was having defenders in his face. It's almost like the style of blocking that he was facing every once in a while when it comes to blocking schemes. Whenever they got messed up, was almost like you getting ready to block a PAT.
For sure.
When it comes to him just being in a regular spread offense, and they're coming at him that fast. And that's with a 4-man rush.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes even a 3.
Oh yeah.
Which didn't make any sense.
Oh yeah.
So all of that, to his point and to how he's grown, he's done a tremendous job. But it also shows how much he has learned to process things so efficiently fast.
1000%.
Since dang near high school.
1000%.
But it's just more assertive now because he's mastered a lot of the defenses that he's seeing.
1000%.
Like right now. And I love that. Also, man, you know what? I just love little details. I love the support that David Njoku and Myles Garrett gives him, because it's almost like they grew him like he's their baby brother.
Right.
That's been chosen to kind of take over the franchise in a sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like super cool, because it's all like, yeah, they may have not verbally said it, but their actions speak louder than words when it comes to their support and how they truly feel about him.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's super cool. And then I'm about to say, like you said, those touchdowns that he threw, it's how he threw them. Because he could have been a long touchdown, someone was wide open. But those tight window touchdown passes, here's the thing that I was thinking about on the way up here. This is what separates Shedeur when it comes to how other quarterbacks process things and how he processes things. Shedeur's not afraid of getting a 3-yard completion off of a quick slant, a quick dig, a quick drag. He just wants to get to the open man, whatever the defense gives you. There's only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. Well, actually, one currently right now. The other one was there about 2 years ago, right? And it's like, what are you talking about? Tier 1 quarterbacks. Tier 1 quarterbacks. Tier 1 quarterbacks. Those type of quarterbacks are a little bit different. The reason why is because whenever it gets into the playoffs and it's time for you to start winning and defenses have looked at your film and they know all of your tendencies, those 2-yard plays, they're valuable. 2-3-yard plays are valuable because if you get 2 of those plays, if I get 3 yards and it's 3rd down and, you know what I mean, 3rd down and 4 and I get 4, now I got a 1st down. You see? Yep. So it's like you playing bones out there. I mean, you playing dominoes with them boys. Yep. Like you nickel and diming your way to victory. And a lot of times fans look at that and they say, oh, you can't play. No, yes, the heck you can because you're playing chess. A deep pass in the NFL, if the defense is playing well, if they're not playing well, that's more checkers. If they're not playing well, that's more checkers. The defense is making you throw everything in front of them and they're making you have to like really play football. Facts. You have to play chess out there. You know who else was tier 1? Who? I was talking about tier 1? Who? Tier 1 is Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Okay? Lamar is a tier 1C in this situation. The reason why I say Lamar is a tier 1C is because of the fact that he still needs to go out there and win the Super Bowl. And he's going to. But right now he has to just go ahead and perfect it. The reason why I say he's a tier 1 with them boys is because he knows how to get the ball out of his hands quick too. Yep. Lamar, you can blitz him all you want to. He still can process things that fast. He moves that fast. Right. So he can process things just as fast. That's why he's the only gifted quarterback in the league. That's him. Facts. All the way to him. He's him. Facts. But you know who else can do that? Who? Shedeur has that potential. Yeah, he does. Processing. He's in that tier 1 processing type of mind. He is, man. He's there. He's beyond his years. But he wasn't the only one that showed out. No, not at all. Yeah, LaJohntay Webster did his thing. Man. LaJohntay, boy, I'm so proud of him, dog. So proud of him. The 87-yard punt return. Things that we already knew that he could do, but it's just the fact that he actually had a chance to go show it. Right. And especially early, not 2 or 3 preseason games in. He got blessed to do that the first game. I love that for him. Right away. And then I also love how he got himself a couple of receptions. I think that's kind of good for his psyche too. Yep. 2 receptions, 41 yards. That's player. Yeah. That's player because of the fact that you had 41 yards of reception, only 2 passes, but you still had a chance to exercise your receiving skills to remind yourself that you're a receiver too. That part. You ain't just a punt return specialist. So if they need you to start at receiver, you can. That part. And I love that for him. Yeah, let's pop it off for Cleveland. Okay, bet. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I seen that boy Dylan Gabriel, man. He actually looked pretty good in the first quarter. He did. He was making some solid completions. Yeah, I like what I seen. He was running the offense efficiently. Yep. His game looks really good whenever everything is play designed to get it out quick. Yep. He's a very up-tempo style of quarterback. It definitely works great for his game. Yeah. So, yeah, he looked pretty good. And I like he stays active. Mm-hmm. I like that, too. He stays active. You know what I mean? So he can react quick. Yeah. No, most definitely. Uh-huh. Yeah, that was good. That second quarter, that's what things kind of had a little turbulence because he was doing a play-action boot. Yeah. And he ended up throwing a pick 6 to the Eagles, so they end up tying it up in the second quarter.
Yep.
It's interesting. I was looking at that play, and that play design looks like the same design that Shedeur had whenever he threw a touchdown. The only thing that changes is the demographics. I've seen a lot of people, online talk about, that play looks the same. Well, it is initially the same, but the demographics are different whenever you're closer to the red zone. Defenders, they cover the field differently.
Right.
Unfortunately, for Dylan, that ended up still being an interception in that aspect. But realistically, the truth is, in the future, just don't force it. Just don't force that type of throw, because when you have two receivers that are in the same area and both of their defenders are in the same area, that's a recipe for disaster. Either somebody's going to get hit really bad and it's going to cause a situation where it's going to end up being a fumble or something like that, or it's going to be a pick. So you're going to either put your receiver in harm's way because he's going to get a hit stick, or somebody's going to get picked off. So either way, it's just a bad situation. He has to throw it out. I seen this other play where
he's got to throw that out.
there was a fumble. There was a fumble on the handoff. And here's the thing. I was looking at this play design. So play design, the thing what's interesting about it is here he is up under center.
Right.
And so as soon as he turns out to the running back right here, what throws off the running back, which could throw off any running back, is whenever you see a defensive tackle, right whenever you're getting ready to go here, you see a defensive tackle right here. But what the quarterback should be doing, that quarterback literally should be going out more to lead the running back out to the hole that he needs to. That way there's no miscommunication being too close to that defensive tackle that's being kind of like a free open space. Now the great thing about it is you had that tight end that blocked down. The bad thing is where he's blocking down, Dylan Gabriel's right here. If he's blocking down right here, Dylan Gabriel needs to be right here, because that running back, his first step, if you look at it on tape, it was already going this way. You see what I mean? It was already going this way, and because he already knew, we got to take a bigger approach to this, because we're leaving a unblocked defender right here that's actually going to get a chip on him, but he's technically still unblocked because the tackle, the guard was going up to the linebacker. You see what I'm trying to say? But outside of that though, he played good. I mean, those are just mistakes that stick out like anybody else. I mean, Shedeur didn't have the perfect game himself. I mean, he missed a couple of dump offs himself. But overall, I'm actually curious to see how it's going to be for this up and coming preseason game. I want to see how both of them are going to play. Of course, if both of them are healthy.
I mean, wouldn't that be like the coolest scenario if both of them got to play? We got to see like a nice side by side. Now I'll tell you who's off the hook big time is Kenny Pickett. What I mean? Because he's his perception is left off from where we last seen him, which is sight unseen. So regardless, he's not really having to deal with a lot of this pressure. And he probably is going to retain a roster spot, period. You know what I'm saying? Just by default.
So you think his chances of being able to make the team is kind of slim right now because he hasn't been playing?
Who, Kenny? No, I think they're going to give him a spot by default. He's going to get an opportunity.
Okay.
I think it'll come down to the other four quarterbacks. You got Tyler Huntley, you got Deshaun Watson, you got Dylan Gabriel, and you got Shedeur Sanders. Feel me? You still got four guys outside of Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. You got 6 quarterbacks on the roster right now, so they're going to have to figure it out, right? And they got Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur kind of dueling it out while the other ones just kind of float around. Tyler Huntley, I think he's closing out the preseason games, but I think he's just there just in case. So they got somebody that can throw the ball. But anyway, back to Dylan Gabriel. I think he did, to your point, man. I agree with you. I think he played well. I think he made some great passes. He looked smooth. He looked decisive. I think, it's kind of like what we see with Jameis Winston, right? He plays a good game, and then he has a couple costly turnovers that just really, really, really hurt. It really hurt at the wrong timing. But all in all, it was a timing thing. I saw the guy crossing across the middle on that middle route. He should have hit him right then, right when the safety was starting to come down. He waited, and I can see because he thought probably that the window closed, and he waited. and then he allowed that route to bleed into the other route. So I think he was actually trying to either hit that tight end that it just came out into the flats. But by waiting so long, both of the routes had smeared together. He brought the defender into the space. I think the tight end's communication was off because I think he kind of short-armed it, thinking that it was for somebody else. And then he short-armed it. The other cornerback comes out, whoop, to the crib. Now, the only thing that I don't like, I just feel like, man, if I throw that interception, I'm going to go try to get a penalty for hitting that guy so hard. I'm going to try to hit him so hard that he fumbles the ball so that we can recover it. I'm going to try my best to overcome the outcome of 6 going on the board. I don't understand the philosophy of offensive players not really putting the effort to stop the play from happening. Rarely you see it. Somebody like DK Metcalf will like chase a guy down 60 yards and then tackle him, but that's rare. It's like, hold on, I just threw the pick.
Man,
I'm finna go.
Man,
I'm finna try to. They gonna mess around and call a penalty on me.
I feel like that.
For roughing roughing the defender. I'm trying to punch that shit out. I'm gonna try to, you know what I mean?
Facts,
Come on, man. I'm gonna try my best. You're gonna have to clean it now. When you see the quarterback trying and they get like smacked and cleaned out the play, that's one thing. They tried their best. Or they go and they dive and then you can see they really tried. But to not try.
And that's what I didn't like either because
come on, man.
Granted, yeah, there was a defender there, but it's almost like he just stopped in a complete halt and let the defender just cut up the field and just run for a touchdown.
He like stopped in frustration.
Yeah, stopped in the frustration, and it's all like preseason, no preseason. It's a game. It's a rehearsal. This is something that's real. I don't like it either, bro.
That's a good point. Maybe you don't want to put your body on the line. I guess.
Well, I'm saying, in my opinion, it's a game, it's a rehearsal, so no matter what, you should be giving it your all.
And my thing is like this. Yeah, it's just a preseason game, but if you're like a starter stepping into the season with your team and you're out there getting your first or second series reps, I understand you preserving yourself, but this is an audition. You're in a highly competitive situation,
yes.
QB room.
Yes.
This is an audition, so we want to see that effort. We want to see that grit. We want to see that fight, that desire. Right? He said he was a warrior. Yep. We want to see that fight. Like, don't just give up on it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Don't just give up on it.
Especially if you say you're a competitor.
Yeah, we don't
you say you're a competitor, you need to be competing.
Mistakes happen.
I know my boy Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar throws a pick. You best believe he's either up and down, he's going to hit him, he's going to do something.
I'm going to try my best.
Baker Mayfield, he's going to do the same thing in that situation.
I'm going to go get you.
Like, don't like, that's the part that bothers me a little bit, only because of the fact that if I'm looking at it from a team perspective, if I looked at it, last time I checked, when I looked at that on film, he did that in front of his own teammates.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I don't like that.
I
feel like you should be embarrassed of yourself doing that in front of your team.
Yeah, man.
Like, how do you expect for them to truly respect you in that type of situation?
Right.
At least fall.
Yeah, and at least do the standard cop out.
Yes.
At least the standard cop out quarterbacks do. They look sorry. They run over there and they give it a good.
At least fall, bro. Like, don't just sit there.
Come on, man. That's funny. Now, what's next up? We got your boy Ashton Gentry. Now, let me tell you, man, Ashton Gentry.
Hey.
Woo!
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, listen.
I like that.
I do like that, man. You know, he's a certified bruiser, man.
And you know what? I think he's a certified bruiser until he makes the defense respect him, and then you'll be able to see all he can do. And the reason why I say this is I think he's in a situation kind of like, you remember when Ezekiel Elliott, whenever he first came out, and you remember whenever they played the Legion of Boom? Or not played Legion of Boom. No, they played against Seattle's defense. Yeah. Which was pretty much the Legion of Boom anyway, so they played against them, and all he was doing was trucking.
Yeah, right.
He was trucking folks, and it's just because of the fact that he was making the defense be honest. You know, defense is always going to check to see if you are who you say you are. And because Ashton was in a situation where at Boise State he was trucking people, but really making defenders bounce off of him. Yeah, that's what made him such a dynamic player. But anyways, though, seeing that type of situation and seeing what he did in this last game, he finally got a chance to just show like, hey, I am who I say I am if you give me some space.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah.
And I think that's cool because I think, and you know what was cool? The more you look at him, when you look at him in a, I was about to say an Oakland uniform, but in a Vegas uniform and a Raider uniform, he was booging. He kind of like Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
He looked like Marshawn over there a little bit, bro. I couldn't even argue that one when I was seeing him toke that pill.
He did.
I was like, okay. And I can't wait for him to be able to go and be able to break an open run to see what it feel like. Because I know he's been ready to get out there and open up.
You know, that's the thing about him. His speed is also underrated. We forget how fast he is.
Yeah.
We forget why he was up for the Heisman.
Nah, for real.
What we got next? Did you check out Cam Ward out there in Tennessee?
Yeah, I checked out Cam a little bit.
How did he look?
He's not getting too much wiggle to make some things happen. He's throwing some great passes. He's making some great reads.
Yeah.
But his receivers are having a hard time coming down with the football right now. I think it's just a timing thing. It's a, I didn't know that you can get the football to me type thing.
Got you.
Because I don't think they've ever seen it. They don't think those receivers had a quarterback that can throw it in the football like that before.
Right.
Because I think they're in shock. For example, that receiver had his corner on him and another defender.
Yeah.
But Cam is throwing the ball where only his receiver can get it.
Right.
And I think just because of I don't know, it could be a psychological thing. I think it's because Cam's arm is so good that I think it throws off all the receivers but Ridley.
But Ridley has that second gear. Like, you know what I mean? When you're fast like that, you can be cruising in front of the defender and you see, you know what I mean? It's like
his arm demands great receivers.
You said what?
His arm demands great receivers.
Yeah, man.
And I'm not saying the receivers are not great, but if you want to be great, you got to be able to come down with that football with conviction. Whenever it's Cam, because Cam is throwing to you with conviction. And I know they can feel it every time that ball is spiraling to them.
Yeah.
I know they can. So that's a different mindset. But
it just takes reps.
He's like that. And that's the reason why he's like, hey, if y'all are really serious about this, we got to get serious about playing this game that we say we love.
It just takes reps too. For sure.
Which I know, maybe in the future, because now I know after they got a chance to see that film, that ain't going to happen again. They can't afford it, especially if they're the starters. So what's going to happen is, if they let that kind of stuff happen, they need to maybe reconsider letting, what's his name, Restrepo from Miami, letting one of his receivers, Restrepo, something like that. I forgot what his name is. But he's one of those real shifty receivers where he may not be as fast on the field. I mean, like in a 40, but he's like that on the field.
Yeah.
He still knows how to get separation from you, even though he may not be faster than you. He's a technician. He's a route artist. He's a route specialist. You know, sometimes in the NFL, speed is one thing, but your craft as a route runner, being efficient as a route runner is way more important.
Facts.
I mean, look at Larry Fitzgerald.
How about your boy Justin Fields?
You said Justin Fields? You know, Justin Fields, man, I got to see some more out of him. A lot of his, he's had very limited time in preseason right now, but one thing's for sure, he can run.
Man, that boy can run, man.
Man, he can run. Because I was looking, I was all like,
he can run.
When in doubt, they may be one of those. He may be the youthful version of Lamar Jackson whenever he just took over for Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
It was that year when he took over for Joe Flacco in the season.
You better not let him run.
I think Justin Fields is at that position where him and Hall at running back.
You better not let him run.
Hey, they mess around and lead the league in rushing.
Come on, man.
And so they may help out their defense.
And here's the thing, I hope they let him. Now, this is the thing, man. I think dual threat quarterbacks, listen, some dogs' lifespan is what? 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. Other dogs' lifespan is 12 years. But just depending on what's the breed, okay? If you're going to be a dual threat quarterback and that's how you achieve your success, okay, your career might be 4 or 5 years shorter than it could be. Yeah. But I think you'll probably have a better career. Yep. I think you'll have an all-star career. You might have a Super Bowl winning career. See what I'm saying? Because you'll be at the pinnacle, the height of your potential, because you have the ability to optimize both sides of the game at that position. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But I think anyways, he's a weapon. He's a weapon. He's a weapon.
Right now we have first topics. Gotta talk about Shedeur.
Yeah.
Because he's the hot topic right now. And it's a real thing right now.
You ain't lying.
You know, first things first, before we even dive into the Cleveland Browns quarterback room and everything like that, I just want to say that it is preseason. And because it's preseason, I honestly don't want to overhype anything no more, no less than what it is.
Yeah. Because
I truly believe that no matter the situation that Shedeur had this past game, they already seen enough from the first game.
Yeah.
And they knew if y'all are cutting for actual quarterbacks, or not quarterbacks, for actual offensive linemen, that's just literally letting me know, hey, y'all already know what time it is. Okay? Y'all know the offensive lineman that y'all want. Y'all know exactly what y'all want to do going forward.
Right.
And probably was trying to get him out of harm's way at the end of the game. You know what I mean? Even if he could have ran the 2-minute offense. Right. He got plenty of football in his lifetime to show them that he can run a 2-minute offense. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that he's already showed them how to run a 2-minute offense in practice, let alone a scrimmage. So they're good on that department. Besides, they've already seen him from the first game work in the red zone. So that's another thing.
Right. They've seen enough.
Yeah, they've seen enough. In the season, you know, hey, you got to keep all those quarterbacks. I mean, first things first, when I was thinking about with Dylan Gabriel, man, he was a third rounder. They got to see what they got out of him. You know, they put him in a great position to be able to make plays. I will say that they put him in great position to make plays, but he executed whenever he needed to. So that's also an important thing. You know, even though a coach can put you in a great position to make plays, you still got to be able to execute those plays whenever you do it. So
still got to execute.
Yeah, you still got to execute. So I think about that. Shout out to him. He did a good job.
He did.
Flacco did a good job too. And so now we're getting into the regular season. Yes, the third preseason game is officially in the books. We are in the regular season, and now this is when things actually matter. And what do I mean by this? Yeah, it's the regular season, so now a loss is a loss, a win is a win. But at the same time, what comes with that also comes with, hey, now you got to play 4 quarters. What are you going to do in 4 quarters? I want to see the quarterbacks. I want to see how they do in 4 quarters. I want to see Joe in 4 quarters. I want to see how he does on a consistent basis whenever now there's not going to be basic defenses that not only he will see, but the Cleveland Browns will see.
Right.
So now just real football is being played. So, hey, may everyone stay healthy, but honestly, may the best football player be on the football field.
I agree, man. Flacco looked good out there. He looked poised. He looked comfortable.
Yeah, he did.
He came out there. They gave him his thing, man. He did his set. Man, he delivered the pass accurately on time. Made some good reads. He looks in good shape. You know, he looks kind of like he was getting the best version of Flacco. I think whatever he has left to give, we're getting the best version of him. You know what I mean? He looks like he's taking it seriously. I like looking at his, you know, people who take their health seriously and they really put work into their body and stay in shape. He looks like he's in shape. That shows a level of discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because something means something to you. So, who knows? But he looked good. Dylan Gabriel came out there, looked good. He was accurate. He did his thing. Hit my man for a touchdown. It was a good rebound performance. I think he looked pretty accurate in the first game as well. So, they got a pretty good QB room. Shedeur came in there kind of with some guys. The coverage wasn't that good. Took a lot of sacks. I think he was trying to make a play so bad, but he just didn't have the time and he didn't have the line, man. They were probably trying to evaluate those linemen, you know, since they were on the chopping block, looks like. They're trying to evaluate them one last time, and, you know, hey, maybe that performance, them being a little porous, is kind of was the last blow. Unfortunate that Shedeur had to be in there, you know what I mean, during that time. But, there's probably going to be times where he's going to be under duress. So a lot of times what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So for any quarterback that's going through adversity, just look at it as a learning lesson. Like, hey, there might be a time to where we got a big injury, you know what I mean, to our center or our left tackle, you know what I mean? And now maybe if he can go back and be like, okay, what could I have done in that moment? Like, I'm dropping back and boom, I thought I had an extra second when I stepped into the pocket and I didn't. It collapsed. So instead of looking downfield trying to make a play, maybe I should have just tried to hurry up and you do something with my legs and take off and try to get 3 yards in the slide. You never know what he's learned. You know what I'm saying? And so anybody go through adversity, man, you learn from it, you move on. So I think they're in a good position. They brought on 4, I think, for a reason, because they're still undecided, and I think everybody has talent. But one thing's for certain, Cleveland is a talented team, and don't let anybody fool you. They got a strong defense, and they got some weapons on offense. Their only missing is a maestro. So kind of like how I feel about the New York Jets, which is a good segue. Only thing they're missing is a maestro.
Yeah.
Okay? They just need somebody, a chef, top chef, to come in there, take all them ingredients and make a hell of a dish. That's all they're missing. And so hopefully one of them 4 jokers, you know what I mean? And Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur are young, right? So, I mean, they got time to learn. But hopefully somebody can do it. And they're going to have success. There's no reason. They were undefeated for a reason. And I hope that the NFL ain't taking that light. Like, when your second and third string is also shutting out these jokers, that talks to you about a tone that's being set from the starters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to watch out for defenses who look good in the preseason. Because defense is a unitary thing. Everybody do the same thing, whether you second, third, fourth string. Right? You got an assignment. Anyway, so segueing to another team that has a loaded QB room over at New York.
Man.
How you feel about New York and Jackson Dart and Russell Wilson and Jameis? What's your thoughts on them?
Man, I tell you, they sure enough look good in preseason. It makes you almost want to keep all 3 of them. It almost makes it seem like you have true depth. But I say this once and I say it again, a lot of defenses are not showing you everything they got right now. So I honestly got to see how they do in the regular season. I want to see how Russ does whenever he gets a little pass rush. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I want to see how he does. But overall, I mean, Jameis looked good. Jackson Dart looks good. Jackson Dart looks great.
He looks real good.
He looks like he's more of a gamer than a practice person.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. He definitely looks like a legit gamer. And a person that can play, that can slow the game down in the game, that's a person that actually has greatness that's sitting inside of them. So you have that, and you have also a great defense where they look like they can appear to be great. They have the potential to be great. And the reason why is because they got a great pass rush. And if you have a great pass rush,
starts there.
That allows for defenses or quarterbacks to actually be able to play their defender a little bit better.
Hell yeah. Hey, say that again.
Whenever you have a great defense, like a great defensive line,
yep,
that allows for cornerbacks to play their position a lot better.
Say that one more time, just for the people in the back.
Oh, yeah. So the people in the back, yeah. So whenever you have a great defensive line, that allows for your cornerbacks to play their position a lot better.
All right. Man, I hope everybody hears that, knows that. Those who know. It starts at the line. Man.
Definitely starts
at
the line.
That's so underrated.
Yes.
And underemphasized. It starts at the line. That's why you start to see a lot more linemen being picked up in the draft these days. That's why on the low key, they have some big contracts that they get signed. Linemen do. They're very important. When your line is strong, it starts there. Now the linebackers have time to roam and read keys and make decisions and have the ability and the freedom to go and do the actual action without having to fight and tussle with the lineman that's being in their face. It gives the opportunity for the DBs now, because you have assistance from the linebackers in coverage. Now you can take your time. Now you can actually cover, right? The pressure's being put on the quarterback. It starts there. It starts at the O-line too.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Which is also making that offensive line for the Giants a lot better, having to go against a great pass rush, a great defensive tackles. that just makes a lot. I don't know. That just makes the team become a whole lot better when you have to play against that type of talent all the time in practice.
1,000%.
But it seems to be translating because at least from the preseason, all around looked like they was holding up because you gotta have a good offensive line to be able to throw long passes.
Yeah.
So they had a chance to do that in the preseason, the actual game. That's at least signs for hope. But I'll tell you this, that division is going to be a very tough division for the Giants.
You ain't lying.
Very, very tough division. I think at best, they may be able to sneak to number 3.
They're going to have to play.
So whether it's going to be Washington or Philly at number 1 and 2 in that division, and then followed by the Giants and maybe the Cowboys. But if you talk about it on paper, Cowboys shouldn't have no business being number 4 in that division. However, you sure got to do it in a real game. And the one thing I can say, the other 2 teams I mentioned, when it comes to the Commanders and Philly, they've already done it in the game.
Yeah.
In an actual game, an actual season.
Yeah.
With the I want to say with the dogs they got, because I want to say that because they got Jaden Daniels who's leading that army.
1,000%.
Who's already done it. So now the NFL needs that boy Dak to do it. Now, I will say this, man. I've been saying this and I'm gonna keep saying it because I'm a true believer. Dak can get you to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he can.
It's gonna take him about 10 seasons. I think Dak is probably on his 9th or 10th season. He's about done baking in that oven.
Yeah.
He's about done baking in the oven where he's ready to go ahead and make a Super Bowl run, bro.
What makes you say that about Dak?
Because of the fact that he's seen every kind of defense that could be thrown at him.
Okay.
He's always been a great runner. He's always been a great leader.
Yeah.
It's just about being able to see different defenses depending on the different, what I like to call emotional times of the game. It can be the most times of the game or most times of the season, where you need a really big play. But at the same time, you've been kind of off all game, but you need that one play. Yeah. That comes from film study. That comes from you being able to see defenses, understanding how the defense can give you, giving you what they can only give you and you actually taking it. But at the same time, knowing when to kind of floor it when it comes to, hey, sometimes you got to truly legitimately make that big play.
Yep.
And whenever that big play is announced, you got to go to your big play dog. And now you got 2 of them.
Yeah.
So now you got 2 of them. That's called an emotional cushion on both sides. Your yin and your yang.
Yeah.
You got George Pickens. You got CeeDee Lamb. So you got your emotional yin and yang. So now since you've seen every defense, make it happen with the dogs you got, bro.
And you gave him 2 number 1s, man.
You gave him 2. That's what I'm saying. 2 yin, a yin and a yang.
He can do something with that.
That's a different animal.
He can do something with that.
Got to.
Do they still have Brandon Cooks?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know why I heard that name when I was either watching a highlight or something.
I don't think they do have Brandon Cooks. If they did, that'd be poetic justice with that type of experience.
In the slot?
Oh, man.
Ugh.
But this is the year where Turpin, he needs to go ahead and come completely out of his cocoon. Yeah. He ready. Yeah. He ready to be that slot. He ready to be that third option.
Woo! Turpin in the slot. Good.
It's about that time.
They set up. They poised. Ooh, they poised. Yeah. Yeah. They got a couple bangers at running back, too. And then they got flashy speed with the rookie. Oh. And they poised, man. They poised.
That's what I'm saying. So, they always groom from the interior out.
They poised.
So, I'm looking at.
No, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it. But they always groom from the interior out. So, I'm thinking they already got some great offensive linemen. They picked up another one in the draft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking for those running backs to do that thing that they already got out of free agency, but then letting that rookie, Jaden Blue, let him do his thing too.
Yeah.
So, and he's going to be a very, very valuable piece whenever the offense gets to doing their thing, and then you allow for him to catch screens, quick check downs. Obviously you're letting him tote that field, but you're using him in space where you're allowing for him to utilize his full strengths.
Yeah. And you also got to know, it's also very important to have a really good backup QB. And that's why I'm glad they gave Joe Milton as many reps as they did. Because the team's success, a lot of times, teams need to prioritize these backup QBs too. Because if the game is very physical and it's hard for QBs to make it through the whole season. We can talk about what should happen, but let's talk about what does happen. It's hard for QBs, I don't give a crap what your name is, to make it through a whole season.
Yeah.
It's hard. These jokers be out. Okay? So you need to have a good backup QB. And so we'll see what Joe Milton does too. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Dak looks good. He looks good. He's poised. He generally has a good rebound season, whatever his intrinsic motivator is. Something about coming out of some adversity. He generally plays well. It makes him lock in. The numbers are proving it. So I'm excited for what the Cowboys can do. They seem to be like in real position now as far as like injury proof. I was thinking, except for we don't know what we're going to get out of the other QBs, but you know, you got to have enough talent to where if one star goes down, the show can still roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they got just enough. That's why I hope they stop playing with Micah Parsons and that whole deal. But that's just my opinion because he looks like a critical piece to the team. But who knows how strongly they feel that way. There are some communication things going on. How you feel about Micah Parsons? Do you think they should pay him? Or do you think it's something deeper going on?
I feel like they should pay him. I do feel like they should pay him, but at the same time, I feel like they've already disrespected his time.
Yeah, they disrespect him for sure.
That's just, you know, and so at this point, if that's how you feel, especially because, you know, you still got to get in rhythm. You know what I mean? Like, you still want to make sure that he's okay. So if he ain't practicing or playing, y'all playing with him. And so at this point, you got to trade him and see what you can get out of him. Like, see what you can get from him.
Yeah, and
that's the way I see it. And only reason why, because now it's the principle. That's all. It's the principle. Okay, if that's the case, if you're going to pay him, oh, man, he better be the highest paying player in the league at this point for it to be a level of love, gratitude, and appreciation for his services. That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Because he's that type of dude. He's in his prime, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he clearly is a leader.
Yep.
Like, he's doing a lot. He's doing a lot for the Cowboys team. He's been doing a lot for the Cowboys team. And you don't come across that type of dog. That type of dog went number 2 in the NFL draft. Matter of fact, it went to the same school as Micah. That's what kind of guy you got for the Cowboys right now. So it's almost like it's a. And the thing is, he want to commit to you. It's not like he don't want to commit to you. He want to commit to you, but you say no. But he said, "Hey, I'll commit to you for the low. You ain't even got to even pay me max profit. I'm just trying to be locked in. No, we good. Like that's what it kind of comes off as. Unless you're trying to make me the highest paid player. If you're trying to make me the highest paid player, and you're trying to change history. That's perfect. I'll sit out. That's worth it. But it got to be that. If it's not, it's time to go ahead and trade him. So out of respect, pay him. But if you need pieces, trade them. But out of respect, I would say yes, they need to be paying him.
Yeah,
for sure. What you think?
I think he should get paid. I mean, I think they should just resolve it. Like, whatever the issue is, they should resolve it if it can be resolved. Of course, we don't know all the ins and outs. Jerry was on the interview speaking on it, saying that he made him a great offer, and there's some components that are going on between communication around with his agent that he doesn't like, and I guess some component of the ball being in Micah's court about him not being satisfied still with what was offered or how the process is going or something. I don't know. But there's something else going on over there. Who knows? The media just says one thing, but I think they should just resolve it, man. I think you shouldn't take guys for granted. You know, now, when you watch the documentary, he not only doesn't mind trading away players because he did that with Herschel Walker when he first took over the Cowboys. He traded Herschel Walker away. And he also did that with Emmitt Smith. He took a while to pay Emmitt Smith what he wanted, and then finally met him in the middle. But it took some games that had to be played and lost for him to see the value of Emmitt Smith.
Yep.
So he's a big businessman, and sometimes he holds his wallet tight. And, I mean, no harm, no foul. You can't fault him. It's his money. But it just to the fans, like what Denzel Washington said in his interview about the fans. All money ain't good money, meaning like the money that you're projecting or trying to save isn't worth this delay. But hey, what do they say? All publicity is good publicity.
That's true.
So if Jerry Jones liked to have it be in the soap opera and like the Cowboys name in everybody's mouth, shoot. Well,
he's a money generator.
He's getting what he like.
Money generator.
All eyes on Cowboys. He's getting what he like. So whatever. We gonna let them do what they do. Because either way, we know Michael Parsons is gonna be good.
Yeah.
You know. And if the Cowboys are making a decision, they're probably doing it for what they assume to be the best for them. So we'll let time tell who's right or who's wrong. Somebody gonna be right and somebody gonna be wrong.
I saw that one coming. But I'm about to make up for it right here.
I'm glad it went your way.
Have you heard any update on Luka's knee?
No.
You haven't heard much? I'm curious to see how he's going to be health-wise for LA this year.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'm very curious if he's going to keep staying as slim as he is and come into the season ready, because now since he doesn't, like if he's been out, I'm very curious to see his nutrition. How is his nutrition going to be going forward? Only reason I was thinking about it because I was like, the kind of complicated shots I'm trying to shoot right now, I was thinking, man, I'm so glad the Lakers got somebody like Luke on their squad.
Right.
Because, man, we're going to need those playmakers.
Man.
I know basketball season a long ways away, but it just made me think about it.
They got the World Cup going on.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting is watching Luka in the World Cup play for Slovenia reminds you, dude is unstoppable, man.
Huh?
He's unstoppable.
Yeah, I know.
He's unstoppable, man.
Okay, so this is what we got popping off right here. Chiefs have enough weapons to beat the Chargers. Adam Thielen traded to Minnesota Vikings. Michael Parsons traded to Green Bay. Chiefs Rashid Rice suspended for 6 games. Ooh. Colorado versus Georgia Tech. Texas, Ohio State. Bama, Florida State. Archie Manning. I love the question mark. I love the question mark with Mr. Archie Manning. You know what? Let's talk about Texas and Ohio State. They did go out there to Ohio amongst a very packed crowd. In all honesty, they actually they played a solid game, but for some reason it seems like Ohio State is their kryptonite. And what they need to figure out right now, they need to figure out their identity a little bit more. That offense looked like they couldn't move the ball at all, which was pretty terrible. The receivers, they appeared to have been not necessarily outmatched, but it was an evenly matched game from the DB receiver ratio for Ohio State and Texas. And so as a result, it made it as if Texas couldn't get any separation. It made it a little bit harder for Arch to be able to kind of do his thing, but great teams make adjustments, and I feel like Texas, they didn't make adjustments like they should have, like Ohio State.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one of those things where now the margin for error for Texas is very, very small, because now you really can't afford to really lose to the SEC. It's too strong. Now the SEC can afford to have possibly 2 losses. Yeah. 2 losses meaning you can lose one at the beginning, possibly someone towards in the middle, and still be able to find a way to sneak into the SEC championship game to be able to see if you can win that, to be able to catapult you into the Final Four.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be tough. But I think they'll be fine though. You know, I noticed one thing, and that was a trend about a lot of these great teams at the beginning.
What's up?
Not everyone looked as polished as they may appear. But you know, it's college football. There's going to be a lot of upsets. So, shout out to Ohio State. Ohio State clearly is still on the top of the food chain, but they got a few dogs out there in college football that can compete with them.
I agree, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Archie Manning, I hear a lot of talk, a lot of judgment, a lot of speculation, a lot of scrutiny. And I mean, that's just the ecosystem and the climate that we live in right now.
Yeah.
Very critical, you know. And you got to have your mindset really bulletproof. These young athletes, I think they should start training that a lot more early in sports, their mindset. Because when they get on this stage, you do anything, it's the first game.
Yeah.
I mean, he started, 2-3 games before in the past, showed excitement. But, you know, and to him, he got excited, you know, with it, the way he was talking about, you know, leading up into it. Kind of put a target on his back for a lot of critical judgment. You're going to come out very confident. You just got to back it up. That's it. Like we've seen with Deion. But a lot of people try to do the Deion, but they're not Deion. So he came out real confident. And to have some of the gaps in his game, they poked holes right through it. So I think all in all, right now, for him to be so early on with taking over the helm, and it's his first game, yeah, he was talking, which is why he kind of has an elevated amount of talk on him, which is kind of brilliant at the same time because, hey,
yeah, elevate the team.
More attention.
Yeah.
Elevate the team, right? All eyes on y'all, right? To see if you're going to back it up. But I think he showed flashes. It was some of them plays. I said, all right, Archie, I see what you did there. Now, the miscues, I think, were I would attribute that to him being a little nervous. You know how sometimes you can get so excited that before you learn that a little poise before the game is helpful, because you go out with your heart racing so much that it almost makes you tired. It almost makes your mind like too anxious.
Yeah, it's almost like you exhaust yourself before you even get started.
And sometimes you need a little bit more poise through the game to just stay composed, right? But he showed flashes. He had a couple plays. I like his athleticism. I like what he was doing with his feet. He made a couple passes that showed a lot of skill. But, I mean, it was a tough game for him, all in all. It was a tough game. I think he definitely had a chance to probably elevate the team a little bit more, you know, if he would have played a little bit sharper. But I'm not going to hammer him for that, you know. But I do think, though, that the confidence will help him overall. But I'd like to make sure that he's improving game over game over game. I don't think if he starts and finishes the season like this, then that's challenging. But I got faith that he'll pick it up, learn each game, and they'll do better. Because, I mean, it is Ohio State. You know, we're judging them, and they didn't lose bad. What's the score?
14-7.
A touchdown game?
Yeah.
Against the reigning champions?
National champions.
I mean, and so once I started being critical, I thought about that. I was like, okay, I'm doing like
No, you good.
I started thinking about that. Who else we got on there? I'll tell you who looked good to me is the U.
So I was going to get there. Their edge rushers,
come on now,
may be the best in the nation as a collective. They may be the best in the nation.
The U look good.
They're big, they're fast, they're strong, and the thing is that they seem to can wear you out as the game goes on.
You ain't lying.
Which I really, really love. Yeah. Our quarterback transfer, Carson Beck, I think, from Georgia.
Yeah.
So he's out there in Miami. Dog. He looks good. He looks experienced. He looks good.
He looks good, right?
He gives me J.J. McCarthy vibes at Michigan. He knows how to really move his feet really good in the pocket. I mean, he has a good arm. Actually, yeah, he has a good arm. Actually, I would say he has a great arm because the kind of throws that he was making was actually really impressive. I was actually kind of surprised. I'm actually glad to see him outside of Georgia for the Georgia Bulldogs because I was kind of wondering how great of a quarterback he is because Georgia has so much talent. Now, not saying Miami doesn't because Miami has a whole lot of talent, but it feels good to see him be him at Georgia, how he is in Miami.
Pause that.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't cut off. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no,
but I see him at Miami. Then, like how he was at Georgia, like continue that momentum, kind of like Cam did.
Yeah, and it looks good. And I was like, okay, when I was looking at Miami's offensive line, they may be one of the best top in the nation too, because like the way they was holding their own was fabulous as well.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I like what I see in Miami. I think they're gonna be that true team that's gonna be challenging.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna be that real team it's gonna be a challenge for a lot of teams going into later on in the season.
Yes, sir.
They had a chance. Did you watch Alabama and Florida State?
I did.
So
I did.
Alabama is
That was a good game.
It was a good game, but no one's really truly scared of Alabama, and it's because of the fact that now a lot of these teams, they have the trenches. Have you noticed a trend?
They look human.
Yeah, because have you noticed a trend with all these teams that are building and they're trying to portal recruit and stuff like that? The common denominator that I would say is all the great teams, they have one thing that the other teams that don't have: interior front.
Man.
And it's, I see it more and more, but it's almost like you can't even unsee it. In college football exposes the importance of how much is important in the NFL. Yeah. The NFL shows the importance of how you may have a few Julius. Not every team has a Julius Peppers. So if you do have that Julius Peppers, he's probably going to be on a really good team. Now I say Julius Peppers because I was thinking about when we watched North Carolina yesterday and I saw Julius Peppers there. But point being, okay, that point being, like, not everybody's going to have a Michael Parsons. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to have those type of players.
Big time.
And the teams that do are usually probably great.
Yeah.
And if they're great, that means that the other teams they playing probably don't have 2 or 3 of them things.
Big time.
Now, Bama in the past, they still do 2 or 3 of them things. But Florida State, the reason why they can match up is because they can recruit like that. Mm-hmm. And so when I was looking at their D-line versus Bama's O-line, their D-line, now they may be at home. They look good. They look good. Their offense looks great. Could have been the adrenaline of the game, but my calculation says if you have an adrenaline throughout the whole game, that's really who you are. If you have adrenaline in the first couple of series, that was just adrenaline. You know what I'm saying? They look good. They look good. Bama is going to be interesting. How long can you now? Ty Simpson for Alabama, he looked good. I want to see what. I really want to see how he does going further because you can't really give up on a quarterback after the first game. So I'm not going to say that, but
yeah,
Keelan Russell going to be sitting there licking his chops. That true freshman out of Dallas, he's going to be licking his chops, bro. Looking to see.
I agree.
I think Keelan Russell, when he go to Duncanville, I think, yeah, he's a good quarterback too. But it's not always a quarterback, though. But I will say Florida State, they definitely had a more explosive quarterback. I know that.
Man, yeah, he looked good.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to cover, made me think about the first game that we had last week, Colorado.
Yeah.
I will say this.
Your thoughts on Colorado?
If I would have talked about this the day after, I would have been doing a lot of complaining, a lot of frustrated topics without being truly organic to myself, truly honest to myself with what I've seen. Truthfully, what I've seen from Colorado, they got a damn good football team.
Yeah.
They do. And I see it, but I also see where they could be growing. Now, first things first, I want to say that D-line actually looked really, really good. The O-line looked really great, especially on pass pro. I feel like they gave Caden Salter enough time to throw. Run-wise, they did phenomenal. They just got away from the run. So when it comes to personnel, they have personnel. When it comes to play calling, you know what I noticed? After watching all these college football teams, great or ungreat, the difference between them and Colorado, they have more variety of schemes for their wide receivers. Colorado does a lot of bubble screen, and I was thinking, okay, if you're going to do bubble screen, and that's the system that you want, Pat Shurmur, cool. But I'm going to need for you to be able to utilize the personnel that's special for what you're trying to do. For example, when you put in Quentin Gibson, they put in Quentin Gibson on a quick bubble screen. He's like a lightning in a bottle. He's so fast. He got 8 yards so quick. Now it was like 2nd down and 2 at that point.
Down and distance is key.
Down and distance is key. So if you're going to do that, you need to go ahead and utilize your speed. But the thing is, they got these big body, 200-pound receivers that they want to get the ball, but they still trying to figure it out. So the toughest part is you have a dual threat quarterback, but your backup quarterback is exactly designed for the receivers that you have. Yeah. So you're trying to mimic what you had in Shedeur, because Shedeur is a traditional pro-style quarterback, so you can kind of open up the playbook. I noticed in the springtime and in the regular season right now, what they have done with Caden Salter versus Juju, they have two different playbooks.
Yeah, interesting.
A lot of people, but I get it, because like Caden Salter is a very short, quick ball, quick check downs. They could have done more RPOs, because that's his style. RPOs usually designed for dual threats. He's capable of doing it. We see him throw.
He's good on the run.
Yeah, he's good on the run. He can throw really good deep balls and stuff like that, but it's in spurts. Yeah. So if you want to do it in spurts, you got to have a system designed for that style of quarterback. If not, we'll see how it goes. I think they'll be able to blow out Delaware State personally, and then that'll get them back on their feet. That may allow for Caden Salter and the offense to get more confidence. Specifically to help out the defense when it comes to time of possession. That's what I'm looking at, because the defense is actually great, but no defense is going to be great if you're on the field forever. Man. So I'm going to give them a pass, honestly.
Yeah, I'm glad you took the words out of my mouth on that.
I'm just going to give them a pass, because I've seen what they did in that game, and I've seen where it's all like, well, when you're on the field so long, eventually that other team, if they keep running down your throat, they're going to break you. I'm sorry.
They're going to break you, man.
They're going to break you, because the offense can't do that.
You're tired, and you're tired. You're thumped up and you're tired, man.
Tired, bro.
You're thumped up and you're tired.
And I don't think people are really seeing that. No, because it's like, look, man, you know, that's the way football is. It's always been at every level.
3 and out, 3 and out. I would like to hear that when they criticize defenses. Throw that factor in. Out the defense laid an egg. Hey, they laid an egg for sure. You don't get off the hook by bad play. But if it's an issue to where there's a lot of 3 and outs, and they joke, and you look at the time they're on the field, like the offense, if the opposing offensive time on the field is high, that should be a signification of like, you gotta at least take that into consideration. Them jokers out there getting thumped up. No break. Yeah, great point. No, I agree with you on that. How you feel about Micah?
Man, I'll tell you this. Micah is the one that we won't probably have to get to because of the little time. But I will say this, though. I want to see how he does. I feel like the Cowboys are going to be okay because they got 2 first-rounders, and they also got, at least they got themselves an interior D lineman with them. So they taking that in the bag, too.
Taking that in the bag, okay.
So I like that. I love Micah out there. He just needs to get healthy. I think right now it's been reported he has an L4, L5. A little bit of inflammation a little bit right now.
The joint sprain.
Yeah, something like that. It's a little tweak, little soreness, and those things is, especially for him having to jam harmonica back and having to jam, so you having to keep the cord tight and all that stuff. It's a lot of pressure that's in that lower back. So, but I feel like energetically he's going to heal up more because energetically he's in a better spot.
He's in a better spot.
He's in a better spot. So I'm wishing, hoping, and praying for the best for him, but I feel like he's going to go off outside of all the knickknacks right now. I feel like that's just leftover residue from where he was. Once he keeps acclimating himself out there in Green Bay, they're going to be dangerous.
I mean, the funny thing about a businessman, it's a business. It's a business. You know what I mean? And when you make business decisions, hopefully you're trying to set yourself up for success on the next step. You never do things to take a step back. So, I mean, I wish the best for Micah. He's a super talent, and I think he's going to do well. He's going to do very well. He's going to be Mike. I mean, he's at the beginning of his career. I don't even think he's in the middle of his career. He's still at the beginning of it. That's why he wanted his money. Makes sense. But I don't think they should rush him on the field, though. I think Dallas is going to, if they use those assets well, I think they'll rebound very well. And they might put themselves in a position to be more well-rounded, and maybe fill in some of those other gaps that they had with Micah might help them be a little bit more dominant, you know what I mean? If they use those assets well. That's the caveat. Now, if you get a bunch of duds, then it's unfortunate. That's just the rules of the game, right? It's all risky. But, I think he'll do well. I don't think they should rush him on the field. Did you hear the report about them thinking that he might do an injection to play on Thursday?
It's not worth it. And I heard that, and I was just thinking, bro, it's not worth it. But, whenever you're paying them several amounts of money, they want to get a return on his offer. And then also he probably wants to prove to himself, like, hey, I'm not injured. I'll play through this. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?